Howdy, everybody. Welcome on into the cargo bay where it's time for a little bit of hobby talk.
Hobby talk. And hey, I hate to correct you right off the bat, but we got a lot of bit of hobby talk going on this week.
I think you're right, BC. There's a lot going on. We got.
I mean, if we look at the dock, it's jam packed.
Look at that! I almost filled up the fake Post-it note there. We've got the living set. The Star Wars living set is ending, perhaps.
Yep.
PSA, maybe buy an SGC.
I was going to interrupt you and say we will provide our expert opinions on that, so everyone can rest easy.
Yeah, I'm very well informed. I also have a lot of inside industry connections.
Oh, you mean my uncle PSA? Yeah,
that's right.
We've got the inside info.
Came to the right spot.
Yeah.
PSAC. It's your VC. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, that's him, yeah.
We're going to talk about soda pop. We're going to talk about direct from Topps. And you can enter the giveaway, BC. Another chance to enter that giveaway.
The chances keep on rolling. I'm going to go over the official rules for the giveaway, which is, if you just keep commenting bad batch in the comments, well, you'll get another entry added. If you wanted to add it ×2, if it's your second time, that's going to be very helpful for me when I start collecting all of that information.
Right on. Well, that's exciting stuff, BC. Shall we get started right away?
Right away. Like and subscribe, everybody.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe. Do that. And well, let's start with the end of the living set, BC.
Question mark. I feel like it is the end of the living set since it was definitely an official announcement. I have seen a lot of petitions go out to Papa Topps, Father Fanatics, to try to extend the life, to say, hey, we've got more characters that these artists can do. Let's keep it going. Which I feel like I'm not particularly hopeful that will move a corporation after they've made a decision, but yeah. I wish everybody luck. I think the saddest part is just that artists are going to have one less source of revenue on that particular front. It's an impressive set from 1 to 500. So I think, I don't know, 500 feels like maybe a natural stopping place. I understand there's a lot more characters.
Do they fit on a binder page?
Man,
they should have gone to $4.99.
Yeah, what's the easily divisible by 9? But yeah, it's a lot of, is outcry the right word? Would outcry be the right word for people's response to this? That they felt the need to open petitions and stuff. I mean, I get it. If you're heavily invested and you want to see more stuff, I don't know that I was particularly shocked or surprised. 500 feels like a massive set and kind of a natural stopping place, but yeah, definitely sad for those who have been on the ride the whole time. It's a heck of a collection if you've got one, or if you will have 1 through 500, since we haven't got there all the way yet.
My thought initially was, first of all, the prices are going to go up on a lot of the early cards for a little bit, as people are like, oh, now I can maybe try to accumulate the entire 500 now that I know there's a stopping point. I don't know if they could ever do anything that would be as popular as this with the classic blue border, but I was thinking if they obviously this post here indicates that Topps has had basically no communication about this with the artists whose job this is, and who have been producing this set for a long time now.
Regular, reliable work,
but I would think, well, maybe they'll start on a new project that's kind of similar with some sort of change up that allows it to be an entry point. I'm assuming that the Top Star Wars is doing okay for them just by how heavily the Throwback set is featured on their website. Current, or usually in front of the baseball, Throwback set or whatever. It'd be interesting to compare the numbers between, because there's a living set for baseball and soccer and other stuff like that, and then there's
I mean, there's Throwback Thursday for other sports. It would be interesting to see what the threshold is on those print runs and how Star Wars holds up, because it does feel like sports collectors don't really give a crap about print on demand stuff. Like, it's just not as collectible. The Star Wars stuff feels more up a collector's alley than the baseball stuff, for sure. But it'd be interesting to compare those print runs.
Well, it's sad, BC. It's a bummer. It's a cool set. They just introduced vehicles a little while ago.
I know.
I was
that was
excited about that. That was cool.
I thought it was a nice change of pace. If you want to go to the next slide, I do have the penultimate release here, which is a true banger of a set there, with Nihilus and Revan.
the heralds of the end is what.
Yeah, like it'll be curious to see who 499 and 500 are going to be for the end of the set. But yeah, I don't know. As the vehicle stuff was kind of cool. I mean, I will say I probably didn't help because I haven't been buying them. But it's like I picked up a few here and there, but it is hard to see an entry point as a collector if you're trying to get into it now and you're like, I'm only 480 cards behind the set if I want to get into this thing.
And it's $12 a week for, I mean, I'm at the point in my life financially where I am angry at streaming service prices, which are like, that price for a month of whatever. Although, let me tell you, I got Netflix for the first time in a long time because I wanted to see something. I went for that low tier standard definition, and I was watching like a dark show, and it was like I could have pirated this very easily and gotten better quality like than what I am getting, paying like $15 a month, something insane. Anyway, that's a dumb tangent. All I'm saying is it's expensive to buy 2 cards for $12 every week.
Listen, if people aren't coming to the cargo bay for the tangents, I really don't know what the hell you're doing here. Because I was going to say, one, this ties in nicely to the idea that was previously pitched on the cargo bay, which is a top subscription service where for $12 a month, you get whatever print on demand they offer. Just throwing that out there, Tops, just as an idea. The other thing, my Netflix offer, like I don't have like the highest tier. I don't have like the ultimate FU tier. I've got just like the regular, like $10 a month. And they sent like the message whenever I opened the app last time was like, they're like, do you want to go to the cheaper one with ads? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm offended that you asked me that. Like, I appreciate you thinking about the pocketbook, and they're like, you're not paying for the most expensive one, so you just want to pay for the one that's got ads in it. It's cheaper. I'm like, no, get out of here. Get out of here with that Netflix.
What a beautiful landscape we have for entertainment.
It's glorious.
Well, yeah, I'm curious to know how much of this living set print run has been fueled by people who buy 20 copies of these things in order to hoard them for the boom that may or may never come. But shout out to everyone who has worked on this set over its 500 card run. It really stinks to see Topps Fanatics continue to be disrespectful and crappy to their artists.
Wish we could say it was a surprising development, but it seems like it's pretty much par for the course.
No, they're bad. They're bad. The people who run it are bad people. That's the only thing that I can glean from the way they treat people who work for them.
You and I really should give corporations the benefit of the doubt. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think if I've learned anything in my adult life, it's that the leadership of corporations will never fail us.
Yeah, I mean they have needs too.
Yeah. They needed us to support them more, buying them $12 cards. We didn't. We failed. I get them every once in a while. I'm thinking about picking this one up. Just we'll see if we can really surge these numbers, VC, with my extra $10 in the bucket and see if that'll convince them to.
Well, let's give them the cargo bay boost. Everyone go out there, and all 12 of you guys go and buy a set of this.
If I know anything about conversion rates, the 20 people who leave a thumbs up on our video, if we get 1% of that 20, we'll make a whole $30 for Topps potentially.
You're welcome, Topps.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
All right. Well, R.I.P. Living Set for now. We'll keep the updates coming here on the Cargo Bay. Usually about a week late.
That's right. We're always on top of the news. Almost.
We're kind of like a magazine.
Yeah.
Think
of us as old media, but on new media. You know?
Yeah.
We're like a zine from the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a free zine. Dang it.
That's right.
BC, I've slid over to the Star Wars Unlimited slide. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I have not opened this. I don't know. We did a video about it a while back, but it is out. It is a trading card game. A friend of the show, Thrill House, described it as Magic the Gathering, but good. Or Magic the Gathering, but like kind of a quicker, lighter version of Magic. Okay. Every card has the potential to be an energy card or something, so you're not waiting for land cards or mana or whatever. I skimmed a review that was like, "Hey, this is a really good game." So people like the game. The cards are out there, and basically, if you don't know, they have secret rares and super secret rares or whatever, which are just full art versions of cards. They don't play any differently. So there are some super rare cards that are just different variations of the art or foils. And right now on eBay, they're listed for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
And hey, just to let everyone know, that's definitely what they're worth. Or probably not, more likely, because these just got released.
Yeah. I don't think these prices will hold. Could be wrong. But
hey,
I don't think.
Prove us wrong. That'd be great. I'd say if you've got a showcase ultra legendary foil, sell it now and buy like 6 boxes or whatever you can get for this. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this. I do wish it was I don't know, an easier entry point for me on something like this, but I'm just I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna miss the boat. I would like to open some of this at some point just to see it in hand, but I don't know. I'm just the TCG thing kind of passed me by in a lot of ways. I'm a big board game fan. I love board games, and the gameplay of this seems like it would be cool. It's just buying cards and finding someone who wants to play with you. And you were talking about, like a lot of it's about like going to like your local game store and playing in tournaments and that kind of stuff. And it's like, I mean, it's like, I'm antisocial enough to not want to do that ever. So I'm like, if I had like a couple people that I knew that were also interested in this, it might be fun for me. But kind of like,
if we weren't 1,000 miles apart, we've maybe split a box and build a deck each,
and learn the game and figure it out, and then realize we spent too much money on a box. And
yeah. I will, if I see this in the wild in a place where I can like buy a pack of it, sure. There's some of the card art I do like. A lot of it, like, I don't think it's bad. It just doesn't appeal to me. If that makes sense. It really does feel like, specifically the graphic design of these cards feels like they are aiming at like a book fair audience. Like it is very clean, antiseptic kind of like Fortnite looking art.
It's almost like YA novel artwork, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like book fair, I think, is about as accurate as you can put it. Like the Boba Fett card looks cool, but a lot of them just, in terms of the imagery that's on there, struck me as like, oh, that'd be a cool card to have outside of the game as like a collectible thing, Like I picked up some of those Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings cards just because I saw them out and I was like, hey, I love Lord of the Rings and I'm a deviant for ripping packs. It'd be interesting to see. those cards look cool, and I really like the art cards and stuff that was in there. The style on this, I'm just kind of like, man, if I see it on a shelf, I'd buy it. I don't know that I'd go out of my way to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's never gonna be there. I have a binder with a few Magic cards, like kind of high end Magic cards in it, because the design and the card artwork is enough of a thing for me to be like, I like this. I want this specific card because it looks cool. Like I enjoy the art here. Makes me feel cozy. It'd probably be nice for sitting around a table. But the kind of family friendly air of it means that it's just not. It's not for me personally. So maybe we'll cover this if there's demand for it, or if we come across some packs. But probably we will never be experts on Star Wars Unlimited, I would guess.
I would guess you were correct about that. But who knows? You know, maybe I'm in for a big lifestyle change, and I'm going to be a regular fixture at the local tournament scene.
Could be BC. Maybe we're starting our arc to be pro Star Wars Unlimited players. That would be pretty cool.
It would be quite a left turn for the cargo bay, but I think it'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I think I probably have an incredible tactical mind. If I know myself, I'm nothing but a tactician and an intellectual.
My strategic card playing skills are beyond most minds, I will say. So if I do decide to go down this route, I'm positive I'll be successful at it. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I played a lot of poker and Red Dead Redemption 2 with some friends, and my general style was like, I wonder what this is going to be when I put it on the table. I wonder what this combination of cards is.
Anything?
What about this?
Did I beat you? Please, someone tell me, because I don't know. Yeah, I do get into strategy game, like board games. I love them. I really do enjoy those types of things. It's just like the price point of doing something like this, where it's like, I don't know. I like being able to buy a board game that's basically the same cost as a video game, and knowing exactly what I'm getting out of it. Where this seems like a much more of a gamble. You know what I mean? At a higher price point in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think part of the rarity being built into image variations means that the cards aren't that hard to acquire, or at least I was reading in one of the reviews, I think was basically like, well, actually, this is a really easy game to pick up and not get shafted on. I want to play it. That's great. But I'll probably keep playing Dominion, which is a deck building board game where all the cards are already in the box, and
I've got a Star Wars game that is a deck building game where it is all of the, you know what I mean? It's a quick fun play for me, so
let us know in the comments. I trust Thrill House says it's good, which does make me want to check it out, but if you have experience or if you got some sort of awesome pull, let us know. I'm clicking the slide.
Click the slide.
Whoa. It's PSA SGC. What's going on?
Listen, we're probably the first people to talk about this on the internet and social media.
The first people I will have heard talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I really did my research here, VC.
The long and short of it is Collectors bought SGC. Collectors is also who owns PSA. So they have acquired SGC, and basically nobody knows what's happening at this point, other than it's SGC is staying SGC for now for an indeterminate amount of time until something else is announced. But it's the biggest hobby news that everyone can wildly speculate about, which is fine. And I do think it will have a lasting impact on the hobby, and
it's bad for us.
I
mean, that's the only thing that translates to for me, and the only thing I care about is, oh great, less competition, worse prices for us. Cool.
So I don't know. It's weird because does SGC just get folded into PSA eventually? Do they stay their own thing? It's always been the little brother to PSA. PSA is still going to be the main card grading service. I don't think any of that changes. I don't know. I just heard so many takes and so many opinions and so many reactions. It's like I'm not actively grading stuff that much. If I'm buying things, it's usually in a PSA slab. I don't really. I mean, I don't really care that much about grading cards. I typically will buy graded cards. And when we've talked more recently about like, hey, it might be fun to try submitting some stuff. We've talked about PSA as being, hey, it might be worth trying to submit some cards to PSA just to see what that's like. So I don't think anything changes for the King of the Mountain. It does feel like there will be less competition going forward. It'll be interesting to see if they do eventually say, hey, you can switch your SGC to a PSA slab for $20 and your SGC 10 can be a PSA 10. I don't know if that's going to happen. Again, that's just everyone's just talking about all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I prefer PSA slabs at the end of the day. It's kind of where I'm at,
Yeah, I mean, I probably, if I was going to grade my PC, if I like Galaxy Chrome in the SGC slabs specifically, so I was planning to use it again, and I liked it for being a little cheaper and a little faster.
Yeah.
And again, just consolidation of brands under giant parent companies is usually bad news.
Yeah. I will say the turnaround times, I believe, have gotten longer for SGC and shorter for PSA. So that gap is closing a little bit. And so I don't know why. I'm sure many of our viewers have ideas as to why that might be. But just in terms of I don't think this news affected me really at all as a collector, because if I'm piecing stuff, I tend to get it in a PSA, unless I'm looking for something that would just be like a little bit cheaper, and then I will go SGC because it doesn't hold as much value in an SGC holder. So, it's still going to be SGC at least for a little while, and anything changes, I'm sure there will be just tons of content creators out there hitting your feed immediately, and we'll be somewhere 2 to 3 weeks behind that
with less information and less speculation.
Less information. So milder cold takes as opposed to hot takes. That's really our brand.
We come in 2 weeks after the facts and go, yeah. Okay.
It's well, and to be fair, that's the type of content that the internet just gobbles up. We just want to get on it. It's late and it's not that interesting.
We're gonna rocket ship straight to the moon, BC.
Yeah, people respond to mild, relatively uninformed takes very well. So that's what's led the cargo bay to so much success at this point. Shout out to all you cargo babies for hanging out with us for our mild and slightly delayed takes.
Love it. I mean, I don't love this news, but I love our coverage. Put that on the back of the box. What's up next? Oh, I just wanted to mention the remaster of Dark Forces. Dark Forces being what many would call a Doom clone from 1995. It's an old first-person shooter. There's a lot of really cool things about the game, mostly that you really get the sense that you're like on a mission, accomplishing objectives. You got radio chatter, but you play a mercenary working for the rebellion who just blasts your way through Imperial facility after Imperial facility. The first game I ever completed.
Nice.
Huge reason why I'm a Star Wars fan. Love this game to death. Night Dive Studios did a very faithful and really amazing remaster. Night Dive, when they do games, it's not like, we're going to change a lot about it's like, no, this is a really great game. We're going to leave it alone and just polish it up. It's got the feature where you can push a toggle and it switches back to the old rendering of the game, or turn it back to the remaster, which I love that so much. It's brilliant.
Is there Is there anything? So there's some updates. So is there anything gameplay wise at all any different, or is it just a straight one for one, basically?
Yeah, it's pretty much just a visual upgrade. I mean, the game certainly looks dated. In the remaster, like a lot of these sprites like from the old game I used to squint at as a child and be like, what is that supposed to be? And now I can look at it and be like, oh, I see, that looks pretty good.
What platforms is this? Is it
pretty much everything? I think
everything.
Yeah,
this feels like it might be a fun like Switch handheld kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend it. It's a pretty clean port to the Switch. Your frame rate may dip below 60 frames a second occasionally. Oh my gosh, which I don't care about.
Here's what I love about my Switch is I don't expect a lot out of it, which is why it always delivers for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at it the same way I look at like my PlayStation 5. I'm like, this is a handheld console, and if I'm playing a game from the 90s, I'm perfectly content with it looking like a game from the 90s. It's like, I'm not expecting, the craziest graphics and the smoothest stuff. I'm like, it was a handheld console and it's as fun as hell to play with.
It's gonna look great on the Switch. It's gonna look beautiful. The remastered assets are great. I have been dreaming specifically of Dark Forces on a handheld since I was a little kid because I saw they put Doom on Game Boy Advance and I was like, "Where's Dark Forces? Where's Dark?"
You can do it. The technology is there. Just do it.
This is the first game I put on any computer that I got. One of my favorite games of all time, and playing through it for the 9 millionth time, I'm still like, this game's so good. You will get lost if you're not familiar with games like this. Just look at a guide for the 2 levels that are super confusing. Because unless you're in the 90s or have nostalgia for the 90s, you're probably not going to enjoy being in a facility for like 30 minutes, being like, where am I supposed to go? Whereas for me, I'm not looking at a guide because I'm just like, wow, look at this old hallway. This is great. Let me walk by again. So yeah, that's really good. It's a little pricey. It's at $30. There's been speculation that that's the mouse. That's Disney's hand at work, but I don't know. It'll be on sale at some point if that's too much. It is a lot for a game that's that old, but remaster.
What's the gameplay time? Let's say that like.
This is probably
if you're not speed running,
I'd say between 8 to 14, 15 hours, I would guess. Yeah. It's 14 levels, I believe. So it just depends on how lost you get, really. If you play it, it's not very hard if you play it on medium. It's not even that hard on hard, but it is, and something that's controversial that they didn't change is that it has a life-based system. There's not mid-level saves. So if you run out of lives, you're cooked and you start from the beginning. I used to hate that about the game. At this point, it is the only reason why it's entertaining is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. I can't die.
If you want to take us to the next slide, I want to just continue that conversation. We can bring up too. But let's talk a little bit about video games and how it used to feel that way with every game you played, where it's like, if I die, I have sunk the last 5 hours of my life into this game. So help me God, I will throw this controller against the wall. Now, most games that I play are like, you just want to do a little soft auto save right now, baby?
Yeah.
I saved it and you didn't even know it. Die as much as you want. You're fine. You're okay.
That was
it's a different time, different era.
It was a very painful part of my childhood, BC. Because I played so many PC games growing up. It wasn't long after Dark Forces where saving was pretty universal on PC games, and also in the kinds of games that I played, quick saving was a thing, which you just have a hotkey for your quick save slot. So that was the way I played through a lot of games that were difficult, and some games are kind of built around that, like Thief 1 and 2, my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
You're going to have a hard time if you're not quick saving or save scumming. as it's called when you're just like, I got a little further, save it. I got a little further, save it.
Oh, good, safe.
But I think that was a huge reason why Pokemon was successful, is you could save on a Game Boy, and there aren't a lot of Game Boy games that had a save battery. And that was just like, oh, it's like a real game where I can come back to where I was tomorrow.
Like, I remember having to buy, like, when I upgraded to the N64 and was just living high on the hog, and I found out about memory cards. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? They're like, if you want to save your game and the file's too big, you're going to need to spend an additional money that you're going to have to ask your parents for, and then explain to them why you're getting this thing that's not really anything at all.
What a scam.
Oh my god.
What a scam. I hate it.
But if you could get that combo Rumble Pack save thing, you could have a Rumble Pack and it was multifunctional.
Oh, that's sick.
What a deal,
I didn't even realize that the 64, I had an N64 in high school briefly, but I didn't grow up with one. So there are save slots that go into that thing?
I remember sticking it into the back of my controller.
Yeah.
Like I had to stick in, like I don't remember what game it was or why I would have had, but I remember needing to get a memory.
Okay, because they also have the RAM expansion that you had to put in for certain games, like Perfect Dark or whatever, the red.
Because there was a thing like on the actual console where you could flip it up, and there was a thing I think you could.
I think that's a RAM expansion.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then there was a port on the controller that you could.
Yeah.
Put your Rumble Pack or your memory.
The PS2 save cards had those. Had GameCube save cards. The Dreamcast had the little memory cards with the screen on them. The VMUs that had the little screen, and you could take them out and play Gigapet.
I think I got hands-on with the Gamecast maybe once or twice in my life. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing of all time when it came out, just based off the look of it. And then no one I knew ever had it. So it just never around.
Too expensive when it came out, and I feel like the marketing was bad. That system was truly a beautiful thing. I got one at the very end of its life cycle, so the games were cheap when I got mine because it was dying.
Nice.
But I did love it.
Let me thread a needle here real quick. Now, when you think back to your favorite memories of playing these video games as a child, what soda pop were you slugging as your beverage of choice?
Oh, BC, I lived in a household where I was allowed to just chug full sugar sodas all day long, basically. There's a thing of like, we're going to the grocery store. Which 12-pack do you want, son? And it was a beautiful thing in my life. I cherish those memories fondly. I alternated frequently, but in teenage years, Mountain Dew. The idea that Mountain Dew had extra caffeine, but I also remember grape soda a lot. And always off-brand. We're talking Walmart brand, Dr. Thunder and
Dr. Thunder through
whatever
and through.
The grape, whatever the grape soda was.
Like you, I do not remember a time in my life when there was not a 12er in the pantry, so I could go home and get a warm lemon lime Kroger branded soda after work, or a Big K of some kind.
Nice, a Big K. You're drinking them warm, BC? Or are you putting them on ice? You're putting them on ice.
Dude, when you're a sugar addict, you don't care if it's warm or cold. You just go for it.
I was definitely like the icy coldness was a huge part, because usually I would be alternating between running around outside and coming in and playing video games. So I would chug one, ice cold, and then maybe open another when I sat down.
No, it's wild to think that there was definitely one with lunch, and then there was one when I got home. So
I'm telling you,
a solid 24 ounces of delicious sugary soda.
There were many days where I would have 6 or more sodas. I was at home alone sometimes, and it'd be like, we're out of town. Here's a couple packs, and I'd be like, well, I guess these are mostly going to be done in the first 2 days or whatever.
Why do I feel terrible?
why does my body feel awful? No, I'm getting all of that now. The reason my face looks like it does is like childhood stuff catching up with me.
Childhood's coming back. Yeah, I drank so much soda. Admission, I had a big old soda today.
Ooh, what'd you have?
Went and saw Dune 2 for the second time. Yes, I am a nerd.
I may have to go see that this weekend.
Man,
or if my wife is off work and can watch the dog, I may have to go.
If you can get into the biggest screen you can find, it is worth it. The rumble of the sound alone is it for me. And I also love the book. I love the story. I love the director. I love the visuals. Like it's all there for me, so it all works. But watching it for the second time with a Pib Extra.
Oh, I love it. I love the Pib.
See, normally I'm of a couple minds if I'm going to the movie theater. I do love like a Sprite, a lemon lime soda, like that as my first childhood memory. Like I remember, I almost have a memory I don't even know if I can trust, where I was at the Western Sizzlin' as a kid, and my mom was like, "You can have a Sprite." And I drank and I was like, this is a gift from the heavens. What is this beverage? And like, I remember seeing it on the fountain, and it had the green thing, and there were the circles for the lemon and the lime on the logo. It's like, whatever this is, we're going to have a long and beautiful relationship. And I was a big Sprite guy growing up. So normally if I'm going to the movie, it's a Sprite or a Pib Extra. You know?
What about 7-Up? Do you have any?
I'll fuck with it. I'll do like 7-Up. Sierra Mist. What's the new thing called?
Starry.
They replaced Sierra. Starry. I'll drink it.
Yeah. I associate lemon lime sodas. Like, I still enjoy them and will drink them, but they're never my favorite because it was always, you have the stomach virus, you're going to want to drink Sprite very slowly through a straw. That's the homeopathy, homeopathic remedy.
You're at home, you don't feel good, you're watching Bob Barker, you're eating a saltine. You know what your beverage is? It's a Sprite, baby.
It's a bunch of sugar. It's medicine.
Sprite is gonna work. It is a miracle cure for all things.
Cream soda was my favorite, though. That was it's hard to come by, but that was my favorite.
I remember getting to middle school and there was a cream soda button on the vending machine, and I was like,
oh baby,
you guys, we've been sleeping on this for a long time because it's not everywhere. It's hard to find.
Man, my best friend in junior high, almost every day, he would buy either a Mountain Dew Code Red or a Mountain Dew Live Wire, depending on. I like the Live Wire. I feel like he liked Code Red, but it was his money. I still don't know why he shared it with me, other than being a nice person. But we would split one almost every morning for a while there.
I remember when Code Red dropped, and that was like, well, we got to get some Code Reds, fellas. Like, and do you remember Surge? Does Surge
predate? Oh yeah, Surge is what I would say was the. If we were having we're going to be playing video games at my house and we can get Surge.
Yeah. This is absolutely it. Surge was the fellas are coming over for a sleepover on a Friday night. Mom, can you lock down some Surge for the gang? Because we are going to be up.
We're staying up. And by that, I mean everyone's going to crash but me at midnight because of the sugar crash. And I'll stay up drinking more Surge.
I was always one of whenever you have a big group of young dudes staying the night, it does become who's gonna fall asleep first so we can mess with that guy. I was usually a pretty early to sleep person, but I was like, I'm never gonna be the first one if there's multiple people here, because I know that all of you dudes talk about trying to do something to him. I'm like, that's annoying. I'm like, so I won't be the first to fall asleep, but I'm gonna go to bed, guys. I'm tired.
I was always the last one, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I never messed with anybody. I was too scared of getting in trouble. having my surge privileges revoked.
Adam, we need to talk.
Don't
You've got
take
a
my
surge problem.
don't take my
Don't
surge
take my surge,
away.
mother, father.
But it is all gone from my life now, BC. I almost never have a full flavored soda. Although I did the last time I saw a Pib on a fountain, I was like, "Guess we're getting sugar today, baby. We're getting some of that Pib."
We're going for it.
But have you transitioned to diet sodas? Do you get any joy out of your diet beverage?
Nah, I don't really mess with that. My fix now comes in the form mainly of carbonated water. You know, like Spindrift or LaCroix, whatever. It's just the adult version that's like, hey, we're not gonna put a bunch of sugar in here, but it feels basically the same. You child who still needs to have bubbles in their drink, you know? I'm like, yeah, of course I need bubbles in my drink.
I will defend bubbles in your drink. I think it's hard to beat a cold, bubbly beverage.
It's lovely
as a part of life in the modern era. Yeah,
we keep our refrigerator. We've got one of those little like dispenser things, where you can put your cans like double stack. We keep our Spindrifts, our Spinny D's. We keep them in there, man.
We just get the plain. I like the plain sparkling because I can have that after I've brushed my teeth and not worry about any kind of acid in there or whatever.
If I was a Rockefeller,
don't tell me.
Yeah, don't tell him. If I had Rockefeller money, I would be stocked to the brim with the Mountain Spring sparkling water.
Yeah, those are nice.
And local, baby.
Yep.
You
can get them out here too. You can get them out here.
Oh, it's big business. But anytime I come across that, like if we're going to the Whole Foods, it's always there. I'm like, might as well get a big bottle of that. It's only a couple bucks. I love it. It's so good.
I will occasionally do diet drinks. I would. My problem is I drink them too much when I have them, because I did transition to diet soda at some point, and I do enjoy it. And if we're going to like a fast food place, I'm getting a Diet Coke or a Diet Pepsi. It makes now that my taste buds are adjusted and also the chemicals have gotten better that they jam in those things, they taste a little bit more like the real deal. It's very much a part of me enjoying a meal. But if I get Diet Mountain Dew, which by the way, second ingredient in Diet Mountain Dew is orange juice concentrate, which is very strange for many reasons. One, there is an orange juice concentrate in regular Mountain Dew. Two, you would assume there's sugar in orange juice concentrate, so that's odd. But anyway, Diet Mountain Dew is one of my go-to diet drinks because it does have the caffeine. But I will drink like half a pack of those in a day, and I'll get ulcers in my mouth from the acid. So I can't control myself. And I wondered as a child, all the time, why do I get ulcers all the time? Why is eating so painful?
I'm finishing my fifth Dr. Thunder, and I'm wondering what the heck's going on.
Maybe it's the acid I'm pouring into my mouth 6 hours a day.
I'll share my last bit of soda news here in the Smokers Lounge, which is we've recently started getting every once in a while. They do these 4-packs of a high fiber soda that's like a prebiotic sort of thing. Taste meh. But you brought up the orange juice concentrate. I was like, that it's one of them, like the juice concentrates are the main like flavors. So it's like a basically almost no like it's not jacked full of sugar as a soda, but it gives you like we get cherry cola. And on a scale of 1 to 10 of how much I think it tastes like an actual cherry cola, it's like a 0, right? Like it's it's just enough to be like, yeah, but it's got health benefits to it, so I'll drink it, But it's good enough, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, a cold can of something always does seem to scratch an itch of something.
Yeah, I need one by me all the time, and if heaven is real, I'll be able to have a lager bubbling right next to me the rest of my existence. But everything that's enjoyable in life makes you die fast. That's a good way to exit the smoking lounge.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this, you're probably gonna die from it. Speaking of something that won't kill you but might make you a little poorer, on our next slide, I think is the Throwback Thursdays that we've got.
That's right. Yep, that's where I am.
Which is we've got some Clone Wars love going on here. The previous week was the same set design, but it was Rogue One characters.
Pretty rad.
This is I believe a hockey design. As long as we're not putting fake teams on there or planets, I'm mostly cool with these. I don't particularly love these as a design, but there they are.
I know we got some love for the Rogue One throwback cards in the comments. Those are cool. I'm kind of neutral on the design, but I love the Rogue One characters. It's interesting to see the Yoda card without another name. Or it's like Yoda. If you run into an issue like that, maybe just pick another one of the 9 million characters from the Clone Wars. But
they're like, nah, Yoda. Yeah, I also think it's kind of, I loved, so the last set, right, was the episode 1 cigarette pack style that we enjoyed. It's odd to me that that Throwback Thursday will weave between, like, we're going to do all of one set from one property or one movie. And it's got the cool logo, it's got the movie name, the logo, the font, all of that on there. And then their next set, they're like, we're going to do Rogue One 1 week. We're going to do Clone Wars the next week, but it's going to be the same thing. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they're just cool. They're just testing stuff week to week to see what will sell. I feel like there's someone who's in charge of this project who has like a graph that they're trying to improve, so sometimes I feel like it could be a thing of like, the Clone Wars sell really well. We got to make more of those Clone Wars ones right now to jam out because I need this number to go up right now. Like, I don't know. Like,
were you clamoring for a Savage Opress card?
You know how much I love Savage Opress. My favorite character.
Savage Opress. What a dope name for Darth Maul's brother.
Spoiler alert for Clone Wars. Still, maybe my favorite part of Clone Wars is Palpatine just laying waste to Savage Opress.
Kicks his ass. Just
made me very happy.
Beats the crap out of him and Darth Maul at the same time.
Yep.
Just washes him, which is fan-freaking-tastic. I was going to add a slide to this. Maybe I'll just tack it onto this or a future episode. If you're still with us at this point, thanks for hanging out through Soda Talk. 2024 Star Wars? Radio silence.
Yeah.
Radio silence right now. Which, since that is basically more or less what this channel is built around, is really great for us. But I do foresee news coming up. Call me BC Stradamus. But the Topps Industry Summit is coming up soon, which they do it every year. Last year was when when we first heard about like Flagship was going to be coming out, and then a couple other releases that they're going to be doing in 2023. So I think that's coming up in like the next week or so. As of the time of this recording, they're going to do that industry summit. So we'll keep our finger firmly on the pulse and see if anything's going to happen in 2024. Because I've had some people ask about it in messages and stuff like, hey, what's going on with 2024? You know anything? No, I don't know anything, but I think release information is going to start coming soon about what we can look forward to this year. But all quiet for Q1 2024 with nothing on the docket really.
A.B. Stradamus says they're selling the license to Skybox. We're getting sticky cards back.
We're getting cards that are fused together by cardboard chemicals. It's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah, pretty wild. Also, I know there's Star Wars. Bad Batch just came out. I still haven't watched that. Is that done? Are all the episodes out? Are they?
No. They're doing the weekly releases. Okay. week they released 2 episodes, and they've done 3 and 4. I think there's 2 episodes that are coming out next week.
Well, when I cancel my Netflix, I'll pick Disney up.
Pick back up on
swing through that right quick.
I mean, there's for stuff like that, it's like just wait until it's all released and then watch at the same time. Like I do try to keep up with them weekly, you know, like I'll sit down and watch them. I don't know, I end up not paying super attention to them has been what I've noticed. Like this last week's episode was another like the Bad Batch fight a monster. I was like, great. Cool.
Yeah.
And I was not too
you
not
go
too
around
invested.
here, Rekka. Rekka, go around the corner and wait until I do this.
Not particularly invested as a viewer. I will say BC recommends Shogun on FX on Hulu.
I saw a trailer for that and I looked around.
Dude, it's good. It's legit good. At least the first 3 episodes. Yeah, it's a Hulu joint. FX on Hulu. They've included Hulu now on the Disney Plus homepage, which I knew like they were always bundled together, but now like if you go to Disney Plus, they're like, you want to go to Hulu? It's on Disney Plus. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck
weird.
is this? Like, just bundle all of my streaming services, call it cable, and charge me $150. Like, let's just get this over with. You just wanted to resell cable at a higher price, and you've done it. Congratulations. Let's just do it, okay? Let's just rip the Band-Aid, you streaming service buttheads. Like, come on.
I can't remember why I got Netflix because my wife and I wanted to watch either one of the glass blowing shows or the pottery competition shows. We watched those.
Blown Away?
Yeah, Blown Away.
Blown Away rips, dude.
Yeah, we love Blown Away. I prefer the pottery show.
Which one's that? I don't know.
It's got some really stupid punny name. Let's see.
It's pottery specific though?
Yeah. It's like thrown I can't remember.
Like straight ceramics.
Well, yeah. It's like they make pottery of any kind, anything you can do with clay and fire. They do it. Sometimes they'll do like a sink at the end or like a toilet they've done.
This sounds right up my alley.
The host is like it's British, and the host just like we'll see like the ugliest pot, and he'll just start crying because it's so beautiful, you know. Like he just is like,
the
it's
beauty
moving.
of the human condition.
But I do think that the clay is a much more versatile form than glass. Like what I don't like about the glass blowing show is they're like, make this weird sculpture, and I'm like, I want to see them make more cups. Let me see them make like very nice glass, not some weird.
I like it's like, and all of the artists are different and incredibly talented in different ways. But like there's some of those glass artists who are just on a completely different level from the other people who are in the shop. Where they're like, here's a piece of abstract work in blown glass that like obviously is the best thing in the little gallery that they do, and you're just like that's the winner. Like we can all agree that's the coolest thing.
I can't remember who won the first season, but I remember there's this guy, I think his name was Yanush, and it was just like, this guy is making like, I was moved by his like cups, you know, like wow, this is really great stuff. Anyway, the pottery show is also very good, so we got Netflix for that. But I wanted to watch 1899, it's like a period sea ship mystery, and I was really excited to watch it because the trailer was good. I'd heard from some people that it was pretty good, and I turn on the show. It has a cold open, and I'm like, it's stylized heavily. Like it looks like it's going to be a little cheesy, but I can get behind this. And the credits come in, and it's like this CG credit sequence, and it's one pill makes you smile. And I'm like, I've heard that song so many times as a like mystery suspense trailer thing or whatever. I could not stand it. And not only that, the end of each episode has like some classic rock cover that just completely ruins the mood of this ghost ship mystery show.
Pass.
Yeah, it was sad.
I mean, I get it. the music is evocative, and if you have a budget where you can just pull whatever the hell you want, go
pull
for
something
it.
that it's like hearing that Beastie
Anachronistic
Boys
stuff kind
song
of takes
again.
me out, you know?
Yeah, I think maybe that plays into the show somehow. Anyway, my point is, I'm mad at my media experiences. I will try Shogun.
If you dig the period, that's the way to go, and there's no rock and roll in it. It's heavily subtitled because it's primarily in Japanese, which I freaking love.
Dope. Yeah.
There are dub versions for those who might be a little more inclined to a dub version, so they do have that too. But the costumes, the music is all just like, I'm really digging it. 3 episodes in.
Hey, I don't hate rock and roll, BC. You and I used to be rock and roll stars. Of course.
Legends. Yeah. Legends, really. We ruled the scene for a solid, 5 months?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe 6.
Had a pretty good run, and then a year later. But I don't ever need to hear Intergalactic or that Jefferson Airplane song ever again, because they've been ruined by media association.
One pill makes you larger, and one pill
I just
makes
feel
you
like,
small.
Imagine working on that show and being very, very proud of it. And like ready, and they're like, wait until you see this title sequence.
Needle drop the Jefferson Airplane.
The most cliche thing for us to do at this point. Maybe when that show came out, it wasn't as overused. Maybe they started the whole thing.
I feel like that song's been overused since it was first recorded.
Yeah, I think you're right. It just takes me out to hear a radio single in my show named 1899. Next slide. Giveaway, BC.
We're at the end of the doc. Hey, this is still happening. I appreciate everyone who's still around. Thanks for being here. You know, if you're still here, you're a true friend of the Cargo Bay, because you made it through basically an ill-informed conversation about PSA and SGC, and a lot of talk about soda pop and video games. So if you're still here, you're a true Cargo Bayer. Drop a comment if you're a true Cargo Bayer.
I made it.
I drop an I made it if you're here with us. Also,
can I made it be the giveaway tag?
I made if you want I made it to be the giveaway tag in the comment, right? I made it. And if this is the second time you've commented, because the last video was Bad Batch. If this is the second time you've commented, put an I made it and then a number 2, because it's your second entry. Because you're gonna get multiple entries for the BC giveaway of this beautiful Bad Batch set. And even if you didn't do Bad Batch last week and you write I made it too, guess what? You're getting 2 entries anyway, because it's just gonna be easier for me to track.
Entries from the previous list. I say anyone who puts Bad Batch under this video, they get an entry pulled out because they didn't watch all 57 minutes.
You didn't make it. You didn't follow the rules.
We're going to negate your entries.
You're going to get cut out.
I'm joking. Nah. But double entries for the I made it.
Hey, double entry with the number 2, and you'll get an additional entry.
Enough?
I don't... Listen, here's what... if you want to have double the entries at this point, prior to this video posting, you can have had 1 entry. If you can just write the number 2 for all I care if you want 2 entries. Or just say, BC, I want 2 entries. I would prefer it if you say I made it, because I just think it's funnier at this point. Because, hey, it's a heck of a journey. We've all been on it together. I appreciate you. Adam B appreciates you. We're glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out with us to the very end.
Thanks for all the nice comments on the last video.
Yeah,
should have pulled some, but I didn't. I should respond to more, but I didn't. Sorry.
It's also I
really do appreciate them. They're very nice to read.
I try to give y'all the little hearts, but I do also feel like if I'm going to pull a comment, if it's just people saying nice stuff about us, which I love, it feels a little self-serving if I'm just like, this person said, great video, guys. I'm like, it just makes me feel weird.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, hey, we appreciate it.
There were some comments that had interesting things that I could have pulled, and I considered doing it, but I didn't because I've failed.
To To be fair, we had too much soda talk to get through this week.
That's very true, BC.
We had to prioritize.
Speaking of prioritizing, we will check the email once every couple of months, so feel free to send us an email
right now, as a matter of fact.
The Cargo Bay Pod at protonmail.com. We're on socials at the Cargo Bay Pod. Not sure what all socials. They have a dead Instagram, but BC does check the messages occasionally. Used to be on TikTok, yes. I think we made some pack openings. Still, the majority of the viewership on this channel comes from the really bad shorts we published a year ago.
I went in not too long ago, the other day actually, and I was looking at our most viewed. That set guide for Series 1. We're almost up to, hold on to your breeches, 1,000 views on that bad boy.
That's pretty good.
So pretty good.
I can't believe we don't have 1,000 subscribers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you jerks.
If we get 1,000 views, we should. Hey,
if you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, if you're still here and you haven't subscribed, you're a jerk. What are you doing, you jerk? Hit the subscribe button. Stop being a jerk.
Yeah, we're trying to get
doing content right.
Yeah,
are we doing this? Is this good? Is this any good?
How about this?
We did it.
Bye. So. You jerks.
We've done it again.
I'm ready at your command, VC. We're at 1 hour and 1 minute.
Oh,
got
God, here we go. You ready?
Netflix. I'm ready.
All right, here I go.
Perfect. It's going to go right to the top of YouTube trending.